Hello, hello there. This is Strategic Change Guide podcast, and it's Motivational Monday by Jim and Lucy. Today we have interesting thought for you, an interesting quotation. Henry Ford said, "Failure is the only opportunity to begin again, only this time more wisely."
Yes, Lucy. In fact, one of my favorite movies is the one with Alec Baldwin and Anthony Hopkins, where they're flying in this airplane in Alaska, and somehow it encounters a flock of geese, and it dives into the water. And while they're soaking wet and there's only two of them remaining alive, they are now confronted with bears and in fact, an awful situation where it's likely they are going to die. But what's really fascinating is that Anthony Hopkins turned to the Alec Baldwin character and says, one of the reasons why people die in the wilderness, excuse me, he said, shame. And it is really fascinating. If you really think deeply about it, one of the reasons that we die, one of the reasons that we continue to repeat failure after failure after failure, is not because life in and of itself is actually so hard. It's because we don't learn anything from it, and the main consequences of it is actually regret and shame. We have this regret that somehow we made a bad decision, we didn't learn from it, we didn't act fast enough, we didn't respond in the way that we should have. The embarrassment of it, the shame, is what happens when people recognize that I wasn't all that I thought I should have been. And so everyone hates to fail, but for some people, failing represents such a profound psychological threat to their motivation. And so in order to avoid the failure, just imagine, and I want you to think about this carefully, is that we avoid doing things that we know that can make us successful, because we have this conflict inside of ourselves that it's easier for us to not reach out and do certain things again and again and make them better, because we fear that, I'm going to have the same consequences of failure again. And then everyone would know that I'm a failure. I'll be embarrassed. I'll be shamed, and I will feel that I can't possibly do it, and they will know that I'm a failure.
So right now, just sit and think. Think back on 12 months of your work, your life, your career, or your business, and think about what actually you haven't done just because you've been afraid that it won't work. You were sitting or maybe reading something, or maybe someone told you that you might try to do this or that, and you know that you're willing to try, but something keeps you from doing it. Something keeps you from this trial. And you know what? There is no success without failure. All people who are successful right now, and you look at them, and you're jealous of their success, you're jealous of their appearance and everything, but you don't know what they went through, what they sacrificed, how many failures they overcome, and they just kept trying again and again because they make that fear of failure work for them, but not against their dreams.
That's right. In fact, fear of failure or the embarrassment, the shame of it can be camouflage. For example, one of those might be failing makes you worry about what other people think about you. Failing makes you worry about your ability to pursue the future you desire. Failing makes you worry that people will lose interest in you, so you don't go out and date. You don't have a certain cadre of friends. Failing makes you worry about how smart or capable you are. Failing makes you worry about disappointing people whose opinion you value. And failing, you tend to tell people beforehand that you don't expect to succeed in order to lower their expectations, perhaps even in yourself. And once you fail at something, you have trouble imagining what you could have done differently to succeed.
So why are you still afraid? Why are you still waiting? Think about why, and what are you losing just because you are afraid to try again?
Yes, we have so many quotes from successful people over the years, not realizing how many times so many of them failed. For example, if you were to look up successful quotes, you'll probably find one with Ralph Waldo Emerson. And what's really fascinating is that he had this torment his entire life that he was inadequate, that he was not going to be successful, he didn't deserve success. He felt inadequate even when his wife died. He felt even more inadequate. And we don't know how, there were countless times that he wanted to stop and just give up on life. And yet what he did, he read the great motivational books, he wrote quotes down, and he did all this because he wanted to work himself out of this failure, this malaise mentality that he was in. And yet, what do we think of? We think of motivation and success. We think of Ralph Waldo Emerson, which was nothing close to the fact.
So all the success stories, they are based not just on success itself. They are based on the process of overcoming the fear. I know by myself, when I start working international, when I start working as freelancer, when I dreamed for myself the career I want, and I start trying, there were many failures, and there are many failures every day for everybody. But I know for myself, when I was 11 years old and I decided this city is too small for me, and working in this environment, in this country and locally is too boring for me. So now when I say that I have customers from all continents all around the globe, and we have global team, the people from every continent who are working for us and with us as partners, and we are developing huge projects, innovative and very impressive projects. How can one imagine this? I did imagine, and I did not give up after any failure. There were failures, there were attacks, there were PR attacks, there were people who will be criticizing me for many things, for improper English, for example, or anything else. But you know what? Maybe that was a failure, but I have seen this A as an opportunity to improve, and B as a proof that I'm moving to the right direction. So when you overcome that fear, the fear that you will fail again, so if someone will tell me, oh, your English is so bad, you don't need to write again, you can work internationally, what would I do now if I believe that? No, I don't. And you don't have to believe anything that people telling me. I can see many people, especially I'm a member of the Facebook group called Freelancing Females and Women Entrepreneurs globally. There are many women from around the globe. They're starting their online business or local business. And they have their dream and their vision, how they want to work and why they want to do this way. But many of them complaining that I do not have support from my family or my friends. But most of the times when they're complaining about this means that these people, family and friends, not willing to buy from them. For example, they starting some network marketing business or just creating some jewelry for themselves and trying to sell it. They believe that they're going out and everybody just have to buy it because those are people, there are friends and family. No, they don't have to. This might be seen as failure from many. But from other perspective, it is not a failure, it's wrong target audience. So when you work strategically and you do have a plan and you're not afraid of failure, so you work out this failure fear, and this fear is not against you and not against your success anymore, how unstoppable can you be?
I agree. So one of the charges we ask for you to work on today, because next week is too far, too long, and we want to take action right now, today, the next minute, is one of those things to do is to just say, my dreams of who I really, really deep inside want to be, I can achieve them. And if I really believed in myself, removing all doubt, all fear, not caring what anyone else really thought about me, what would I be brave enough to achieve? So just imagine that you really could not fail, that somehow we gave you a magic wand and you could tap it and anything you ever want to have happen in your life could happen right now. What would it be? If you did not have any fear, what would it be you'd want to go out and try to do? Then just go out and do it. Take a deep breath. It's like right now, the winter's over. This is May 31st. You're going to dive in the pool for the first time, and you know when you dive in the pool, you're going to be cold. If you put your toe in the pool, you probably will never dive in the pool. But now you're going to jump into the pool right now. You're going to get soaking wet, and you're going to be cold. But when you get out, you're going to feel wonderful that you attempted. So now, attempt it boldly.
So take this magic wand that we gave you, and every time you're thinking you have doubt to try or not, something been willing to try or you wanted to pursue your dream, just imagine you have this magic wand from us, and this week is about change. It's time for you to start working that direction that you wanted without any fear. And we are here for you to help anytime.
Thank you. Take care of yourself.